Welcome to our ultimate guide to social media in China. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at the incredible platform that is WeChat, helping you to understand it as a consumer, and then quickly looking at the main ways that businesses can use WeChat to promote to their customers. With 1.165 billion users, WeChat is the biggest app in China, and it really is a super app. It's used almost throughout the country by almost every part of Chinese society. To think of it like a single app is probably a bit disingenuous and doesn't do it service. Many people compare it to WhatsApp, but you can see here, if you were to replicate all the functionality of WeChat in the West, you would have to use all of these different apps in order to be able to do the same things you can accomplish with WeChat. You can book hotels, you can obviously send messages, there are social feeds, you can transfer money, you can invest money, you can hail a car, you can unlock a shared bike, you can buy products both on e-commerce and also second-hand. There's so much you can do with WeChat. Let's have a quick look at what WeChat's like. So you can see here that the main screen is a chat feed, and inside this feed we have all sorts of different things, from private chats with friends, group chats with friends and family, group chats for work, and then you have group chats for networking where you can have up to 500 people in a group chat, and a lot of information is shared there. To be honest, in many ways I get more information from WeChat than I do from LinkedIn here in China. Then next we have official accounts, which can come from brands that we follow. And then there's a folder of subscription accounts where I can follow accounts that publish on a more regular basis. I also have a wallet inside WeChat where I can store money and receive money. And also there's access to a lot of other services through a selection of little programs that let me pay my utility bills, as well as many other functions. Then this is on the third slide here, or the third screen, is what WeChat's social feed looks like. It's called Moments inside WeChat, and it's predominantly content from your friends. They can share photos, they can share articles or links, they can share short videos of up to 15 seconds. And brands can only access this feed by advertising here. We're going to cover this a little bit later, but this is an example of how Tencent has made the WeChat ecosystem very prioritized for users. This is actually quite a private feed. You'll see that I can't see any comments or likes from friends of friends. I can only see engagement from people in my immediate circle. When I publish on my Moments feed, it can only be seen by people who I've allowed to see it. It really does feel a lot more intimate than sharing on Facebook or Instagram. Look at the stats for WeChat. They're just insane. 45 billion messages sent every single day, of which around 6 billion are audio messages. When I first started using WeChat many years ago, it was one of the things that first attracted me, using it a little bit like a walkie-talkie as we used to have when we were kids. The average user spends over an hour a day on WeChat. WeChat's the 5th most popular app in the world, and 34% of mobile traffic through the mobile networks in China is from WeChat. There are 1.1 billion transactions every day through WeChat mini programs. That really is phenomenal, and we're going to go into this in a bit more detail too. One of the things that's really been key to the success of WeChat is the QR code. Now, this really still hasn't taken off in the West. Probably today already, I've scanned QR codes 10, maybe 20 times, or had other people scan my QR codes to make payment transactions and interact with things in the world around me. They're ugly, but they're incredibly functional. Like, as soon as you see one, you know exactly what to do. You get out your phone, you scan it, and it will instantly give you access to some service or information related to the object you just scanned. Their beauty is in their simplicity. They're definitely a much better solution than NFC, in my opinion. To give you a few examples of where QR codes are used, here on the right we can see Pony Ma, the CEO of Tencent, scanning his personal QR code to get onto the metro in Shenzhen. An example of how deep WeChat is integrated into the China ecosystem. Next, you can see my local vegetable store where the lady has printed out her QR codes for WeChat and for Alipay in order to receive payments for vegetables. Very simple and effective way to collect money. Then finally on the left there you can see a beggar who has had to change because people don't carry cash anymore, and so he receives money by people scanning his QR codes there. Another great example, and this has actually changed very recently, but for many years in order to add a friend on WhatsApp you had to awkwardly and time-consumingly type their contact information into their WhatsApp to create a contact for them, and then you could connect with them. While on WeChat, somebody just holds out their QR code, you scan it, and with a button press, you're instantly connected. Such a beautifully elegant solution to add friends on WeChat. Here is just an example of the convenience WeChat brings to life. This is how I pay my electricity bill. I just open up my WeChat wallet, click on utilities, click on the bill, click pay, and it recognizes my face and my bill is paid. So easy and simple. Let's take a moment to just recognize the person who is behind WeChat. Alan Zhang originally joined Tencent and was in charge of Foxmail, an email product a little bit like Gmail. He saw the opportunity to create something much more innovative around messaging and got permission from the higher-ups at Tencent. And he really has driven the vision for WeChat as being an incredibly consumer-centric app. His most recent success is probably the creation of mini programs, which are just an awesome innovation, and we're going to cover those a little bit more in a later video. WeChat's also available on desktop. Again, a long time before WhatsApp desktop came along, WeChat first had a web experience and then a full-on desktop app, which is increasingly almost identical in functionality to the actual app itself. If you're not familiar with WeChat, here are 4 great ways for you to get started. Firstly, download it from your app store, and once you've verified yourself, then scan a friend's QR code, get a colleague to download it and see how easy it is to connect with other people. Then scan KAWO's own QR code and see what it's like to follow an official account. Finally, if you've got some time to kill, scan this QR code for the mini-game Tiao Tiao and practice jumping from block to block. Just 4 great ways that show the convenience and sophistication of WeChat. There are so many different ways for brands to take advantage of the WeChat ecosystem, starting with official accounts where you can publish content to your followers. Then there are mini programs, which are a truly awesome innovation, which is quite specific to China. Next, we have WeChat Pay, this awesome way of making payments for your followers and your fans. Very simple, streamlined, and it's almost been the death of cash in China. Then we have some advertising options. Now this is where things start to get a little bit more complicated, and we'll take you through that in a bit more detail. Then more recently they've added WeChat for Work, a way for people to separate their personal and private lives inside the WeChat ecosystem, and a way for companies to take a little bit more control of their front of house staff, or to even empower their sales teams in different ways through tools integrated into this messaging platform. And finally, underneath all of this, we have social CRM, which allows you to bind all these things together and link your customers across all of these different touch points and hopefully build up a more personalized marketing strategy. To watch the next video in our series looking at WeChat official accounts, click up there. This guide was created by KAWO. We are a software company that helps teams in China to achieve greatness on social media. To learn more about our company, click over there.